Valley Sports Radio is on the air from Bulldog Field in Luray, Virginia. It is the high school football game of the week, playoff edition, as the Luray Bulldogs host the Central Falcons. Tonight's coverage of playoff football here in the Region 2B semifinals is brought to you by Frog's Garage, Wholesome Foods Butcher, First Bank, Edinburgh Motors, Cook's Country Store, Kern Motor Company, Appalachian Freight, Markley's Auto Service, Cook's Trailers, Italian Touch Pizza, Woodstock Equipment Company, and Brad Pollock, attorney at law. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kyle Gutschall. Glad to be with you here tonight as I'm at Luray for coverage of tonight's semifinal action as the 9-2 Central Falcons are in town to take on the 9-2 Luray Bulldogs. Both teams coming in with the same record at this point of the season. Week 2 of the playoffs, both were victorious last week. Central beat Buckingham 17-12, and Luray beat Madison County 52-38. We're looking forward to a heck of a matchup tonight. It's going to be a run game for both of these teams. It's a frigid night here in Luray, and we are looking forward to a heck of a matchup here tonight between the Falcons and the Bulldogs. We're going to take a break and come back, and when we get back, we will have kickoff and much more. You're listening to the Game of the Week on Valley Sports Radio. Game is ready to go. Kickoff. Deep, and we've got a stoppage as on the first play of the game, we're going to have to re-kick. Central booted it deep. It's Luke Retrosi, who hit a 48-yarder to break the school record. He's got a heck of a leg on him, but tonight may not be the night you want to be kicking the ball too much with the winds that we're seeing. So Central is going to have to re-kick to start this ball game here tonight. So they're going to get the ball back to Luke Retrosi, tee it up, and get ready to fire. Central wearing their visiting unis, like a cream color, with the blue numbers and blue lettering and numbering. Luray with their maroon unis, gray pants, white numbering, maroon helmet, white stripe. So Retrosi is going to boot it again, and we are off here tonight. Ball is going to be caught in the end zone, or nearly, but it's going to be brought out just outside the end zone, taken down at about the 20. One difficulty here tonight in Luray, they don't have each yard marked, so they just have the, every 5 yards. So as a broadcaster, difficult to kind of keep an eye on exactly where the players are, but we will do our best. So Luray will take the field. Their offense, as I mentioned, is powered through the run game. They are a dominant running team. 8.5 yards per carry, almost unheard of. That's what they're going to bring out here tonight, and that's something that Central could not stop in their earlier matchup this season. Quarterback for this Luray team is Ryder Lipscomb. First play of the game, it's going to be a handoff up the middle. And Kenny Fry, who's coming back from injury, or from being sat out a couple of games, I should say, will run up the middle. So Fry, 7 yards on his first carry of the game. Second down and 3 at the Luray 27, just underway from Bulldog Field here in Luray, Virginia. We've got a heck of a game on our hands. Two very evenly matched teams. Luray trying to beat Central for a second time this year, which is always difficult to do, but we saw Central do that to Strasburg last year. Beat them in the regular season, then beat them in the postseason. Second down and 3, handoff. Up the middle. Not a whole lot there on that carry. Looks like it's going to bring up third down and short. Kenny Fry once again getting the carry. Kenny Fry, a 5'11 senior. He's got 9 touchdowns on the year. He's going to get 2, third down and 1. Third down and 1 for the Bulldogs on their own 29. Under center Lipscomb going to hand it off up the middle. Great defense from Central pushing the pile backwards, and it's going to be close. Let's see. The spot looks pretty dang good from here. Wow. And they're going to give them the first down. Pretty solid defense up the middle for the Falcons. Looked like he might be just short, but the officials give it to him. That'll move the chains here in the first. That was very close. You got to give Central credit. They didn't allow a big play on 3rd and short, and something they couldn't do last time against them was stop the run, period. First down for the Bulldogs, running it left, breaking away, and up to the 45, almost to the 48. And that was Bryant on the carry. Kason Bryant, 6-foot freshman. He's going to get 16 on first down. So Bryant going to add to the stat sheet early here. Luray just has so many guys that can run the ball with high effectiveness. 1st and 10, going to run it left side. And pretty good tackling here on the near side. Brady Jenkins on the carry. Tyler Forbes going to get there on the tackle. 2 yards there, 2nd down and 8. Lipscomb under center. Audible's out of something, takes a snap. He's going to hand it off up the gut, and pretty good job from Brady Jenkins getting some extra yardage. He actually had to kind of jump over one of the Central defenders who was trying to tackle him down low, and he did a good job getting across midfield into Central territory. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Gain of 4 on the play brings up 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. So we've seen Jenkins, Fry, and Bryant here for the Bulldogs. 3rd down and 5, 8:20 to go, first quarter of play. Lipscomb, the quarterback for Luray, going to take the snap, hand it off. And up the middle, he's going to be short. Central says they have the football. They come out of the pile with the football. No signal yet, and it's Central football. Luray has turned the football over. On 3rd down and 5, he was going to be short nevertheless, but a fumble. And that's the first turnover of the game. Turnovers are going to be big in this one. That's what Central really died on last time these two teams played. So Central takes over on their own 48-yard line, led by quarterback Nick Barahona. Central also a running team, but they're going to spread it out a little bit. 2 receivers to the left. Under center, it's Barahona. He's going to take the snap, hand it off up the middle, and extra yardage there on the carry. And that was Tyler Forbes. Forbes is a guy that Luray needs to key on. They cannot let him go off because he's a heck of a runner and tough to take down. Tyler Forbes, 5 yards on the carry. So a big turnover early here. Let's see if Central can take advantage and do something with it. 2nd down and 5 for the Falcons. They've got 2 receivers right. It's Retrosi and Ben Walters. They're going to run it left again. Forbes pushing forward. The pile continues to move, and he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. Brady Jenkins going to get there on the tackle. So that brings up 3rd down and about a yard for the Falcons. Might need a couple yards. Let's see. Central running the I formation. They have really tried to figure it out the last couple of weeks. Obviously, last week's win against Buckingham, their defense won that game. They need to step it up offensively tonight. 3rd and 1 for the Falcons in Luray territory. Barahona under center. He takes the snap, hands it off, pushing forward. Forbes, did he get it? I think he's short. There, let's see the spot. It's going to be 4th and that's close. He's short. 4th down. Forbes got a yard. He needed 2. He is that ball is oh so close. you feel like as long as Central doesn't fumble it here on the snap, they can at least push forward, push the pile, and get it. This is a huge play early in this game. 6 minutes to go, first quarter. 4th and inches for the Falcons on the Luray 43. Receiver left. They are in the eye. Under center, he's going to hand it off, and getting the first down and a little bit more is Tyler Forbes. And he's going to get it to the 40. And 2 more yards there for Tyler Forbes. So last week saw Central kind of save Forbes, but there's no saving him this week. He's got to be out there running the football, and on this drive he's come up big. Moves the chains for Central, first down on the Luray 40-yard line. Central, a team that comes in scoring over 35 points per game. They only allow a tick over 12. And Central going to throw it. Quick drop right side, caught and getting pushed out of bounds at about the 35. And that was Retrosi. First connection of the game for Barahona. And they're going to give him 9 yards there. Retrosi's going to be a guy that has to perform receiving tonight. We know he can kick the ball as good as anybody, but he's got to be a weapon on the receiver side of things as well. So that brings up second down and a yard. You'd think Central might try to take a shot here, second and short, but we'll see what happens. And nope, they're going to run the ball left side. Great pressure from Luray. They're going to get there, and he's not going to get anything. Third down. Trevor Griffith and Brady Jenkins both getting in there. Central tried to run it left, and that was completely blown up. Probably should have taken that shot after all. And it brings up third down. Clock continuing to roll as it has pretty much all first quarter. 4:40 to go in the first period of play. Central football at the Luray 32-yard line. Luray averages about 19 points allowed per game, so they will allow some points. Last week their secondary struggled. They're going to run right up the middle. Inside handoff. Nothing complicated. Very close. This has been a game of inches so far here tonight. And they're going to give it to him. So a first down for Central as they move the chains again. So Forbes with a couple more. He's run 5 times tonight. First and 10 for the Falcons at the Bulldog 30. We know this is going to be a heck of a ball game here tonight. Both of these teams, solid squads from top to bottom. Barahona under center. Receiver outright. He's going to take the snap. He's going to look to throw. And catch is made at about the 25 and out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. James Bland makes the catch. And Barahona now 2 for 2 on the night. He's 2 for 2 at 20 yards. Bland just broke right, got wide open. We saw a lot of that last week against Strasburg. Central, a team that doesn't pass a whole lot. They do pass more than Luray, but not a whole lot. And they executed well. A lot of quick drops, getting Barahona the ball out of his hands quickly, and right there it worked out. First down and 10 for Central inside the red zone at the Luray 19. They're going to run it again. Left side, pushing forward and getting some extra yardage. And that was Barahona. That was the quarterback's brother, Elijah. Nansel getting there on the tackle. And it's going to be a pickup of about 5 or 6. So Central's offense, it's moving. It's been kind of lethargic, but they're getting down the field. Second down and 5, down to 2:40 to go in the first quarter here from Luray. Central going to run with it again, right up the gut. And that was Tyler Forbes. They're sticking with him early on this drive. Tackle made there by Kason Bryant. So Forbes he's a guy, when he gets out on space, he doesn't have the best speed, but he is very tough to take down. He gets 2 yards there. It's 3rd down and 3. His longest carry of the night is 5 yards out of 6 carries, so it's nothing big, but it's very stable and what you like to see if you're Central. Under 2 to go in the first. 3rd down and 3. Left side, up the middle, and getting some extra yardage, and that's going to be a 1st down. On the carry was Barahona. So they're going to give him just enough and a little extra. All right, 1st and goal from the 8. Central with a great opportunity to capitalize off the early fumble by the Bulldogs. 1st and goal, clock continuing to roll. Central, two receivers left. They're going to run it again. Cutting back, Barahona towards the end zone. Central is on the board. Barahona from 8 yards out with 1:12 to go in the first quarter. Central 6, Luray nothing. Solid first drive of the game after the early fumble by the Bulldogs. So Central's offense, it wasn't anything flashy, but it was effective. So with 1:12 to go in the first quarter, we've got our first points of the game. Here's Luke Retrosi. Retrosi awaiting the snap. Snap is high. The kick is up. Plenty of leg on it, and it is good. Central 7, Luray nothing. 1:12 to go in the first. It's the game of the week here on Valley Sports Radio. Back to Luray, first quarter of play. The Central Falcons with an early touchdown on the Bulldogs. 7-0, 1:12 to go. An early fumble on 3rd down and 5 for the Bulldogs resulted in a turnover. Central got the ball, had a couple of very close plays on short yardage getting to 3rd and 4th down, but they moved the chains, and then Elijah Barahona ran it in from 8 yards out. 6-0. Retrosi with the PAT made it 7-0, and we are ready to get back to it. Luke Retrosi will kick it off following the Central touchdown, and we've got another flag on the kickoff. Second time we've seen that tonight. And Central was offside, so Retrosi's going to have to tee it up and kick it away again. So this will be the 4th kickoff for Retrosi tonight because of the penalties, having to re-kick. Again, the other game we're keeping an eye on tonight, number 5, Stewart's Draft, is at number 1, Strasburg tonight. We'll keep you updated with that. Should be a pretty good matchup, but in the way Strasburg's playing, if you wipe out that game in week 1 where they had to forfeit because of a threat being made, you could argue they'd be undefeated right now. So Retrosi will tee it up again. At least the ball hasn't fallen off the tee yet. I don't want to jinx anything, but as of right now, it's still standing vertical. Central a little jumpy on their kickoffs tonight. This time, legal. He kicks it deep. It's going to be muffed off the hands. Ball is going to be caught, or I should say laid out on at about the 5 or 10 yard line. Tough to see from this angle. Ball just clanked right out of the return man's hands. And Jordan Stevens made the recovery. That was a complete knuckleballer off the leg of Retrosi. And they're going to mark it, it looks like officially at the 13. Another big situation there where Luray almost had a huge mistake. And really, I mean, it does still hurt him field position-wise, but not a good play there. You hate to see that from Stevens. 1st down and 10 for the Bulldogs, trying to get back on track here. And quarterback Lipscomb's going to keep it himself, and he is caught in the backfield. Central blowing it up as they get to the quarterback, Lipscomb. And he's unable to do much at all there. He's actually going to lose yardage. He's going to lose about 3 yards. Bland getting there on the tackle. So the quarterback, Lipscomb, Ryder, running for the first time tonight, and he goes backwards for 3. And Luray, when he was out for a game or two, they really really hurt them. Even though they're not a passing team, Ryder Lipscomb's an important player on this team. So 2nd down and 13 for the Bulldogs. This time they're going to run straight up the gut and getting positive yardage. Brady Jenkins on the carry, and that looks like that'll be the end of the first quarter pending a quick play. So Jenkins going to be credited with about 9 yards on the carry. So it's a 3rd down and about 4, and that will do it for the first quarter of play. Central 7, Luray nothing. The end of 1. Come back with us. It's the game of the week on Valley Sports Radio. Back to Luray, second quarter of play. The Falcons leading the Bulldogs 7-0 here in the Region 2B semifinals. Kyle Gutschall with you. Thanks for joining us here on Wham Radio 97.9 FM, 790 AM, and ValleySportsRadio.com. It's a 3rd down and 4 for Luray as they'll switch sides. Big play here, and they're going to run the football left side. And Central's coaching staff thinking he's right there. Or right, just a little short, I should say. Let's see where they spot him. And they're going to measure. So it's going to bring up 4th down for now as they measure the football. That's be a huge stop if Central can make him punt there. So early indications looking like it might be just inches short. They probably just go for it and run a quarterback sneak or run right up the middle. He's short, just that much. You could fit a couple of credit cards in between the hands, but it's still just barely short. So it's 4th down and inches. Luray on their own 22-yard line, and they're already lined up. They're ready to go, and the officials are still messing with the chains and the football. Luray already back up to the line of scrimmage, or they're getting there, and they're ready to go. So they're planning to go for it here. Huge play just starting the second quarter. 4th and 1 from their own 22, down 7-0. And now we've got a Central timeout. So the Falcons will call a timeout. One thing here, if you're Luray, you're ready to go for it 4th and 1. You can't afford a penalty, but that's the same for Central. You don't want to give them a free 1st down. So a quick stoppage here as Mike Yo wants to call his team over and discuss the upcoming 4th and 1 situation. Mike Yo, head coach of the Central Falcons in his 16th year. Career mark of 106-69. Mike Yo, assisted by Rowdy Hoover, Connor Ray Potter, Rich Shockey, Leonard Struther, Christian Ross, and Josh Gum. Last year the Falcons went 11-2. They made it to the state semifinals. And on the other side, Luray, their head coach, Nolan Jeffries. So Nolan Jeffries, before that timeout, was ready to go for it. Kind of shocking score from Strasburg, scoreless, 0-0 after 1. So Stewart's Draft, a team that is typically pretty good, especially when it gets to playoff season, but, well, it's tied as of right now. Strasburg probably heavy favorites going in, but you never know what's going to happen. 4th and 1, Luray on their own 22. They're lined up to go for it. Under center, the quarterback, Lipscomb. They're going to hand it off left side, and Central thinks he's short. Official looks like he gave him the spot on the far side. He would have, yep, there it is. They're going to give him the 1st down. He needed inches, maybe a yard, and he got just that. Huge conversion there on 4th down for the Bulldogs. They didn't want to turn it over on their own 20. So Fry gets the carry, and he just barely gets enough. 1st down Luray at their own 24-yard line. Hand off right side. Good tackling by the Falcons. Not much there on 1st down. So Kenny Fry continuing to get the carries here. James Bland getting there on the tackle. 2nd down. Up to the 26-yard line. Pickup of 2 there for Fry. Second down and 8 for the Bulldogs. Central just has to continue to avoid giving up the big run. Again, right side, it's Fry, and Central not allowing the big plays. So Fry, it looked like a pretty similar play, running right with it. And he's going to get up to about the 29. Third down and 5. So Central's forced Luray in some third downs tonight. It's not like they've just been running first down after first down. Third down and 5. Lipscomb, the quarterback, will hand it off, and nothing really going there at all up the middle. Central just continues to play stout defense up in the front 7. And we've got a stoppage. Official calls the timeout. We've got an injury here, and that's Cason Bryant. Looks like lower leg injury, possibly the ankle. He's being helped off. So that's going to bring up fourth down and 3. They're going to wind the clock. 9:45 to go in the second, and they're going for it again. Luray, I mean, they haven't run the ball too effectively tonight, but you need 3 yards from a great running team. Let's see if they can get it. Huge play from their own 31. They're going to toss it left side and getting the first down and more. Huge conversion. He gets up to the 40-yard line. So they go toss left, and plenty of yardage there on fourth down. So Luray again can take a sigh of relief. It's a sigh of relief as they move the chains. So Jenkins gets 9 yards on 4th and 3, and could that get this offense going? Another quick run. Brady Jenkins again standing in the picture, and he's going to get 5 more yards, second down and 5. So Jenkins, his last 3 carries, 9 yards, 9 yards, and 5 yards. Bulldogs on their own 45, down 7-0, 8:45 to go second quarter of play. That first quarter went by so quickly. Lipscomb going to take the snap, and he's going to keep it himself. He's got a blocker, and it is blown up in a big way. Blocker did not do his job for the most part. Lipscomb taken down by a couple of guys. He's going to lose 5 yards there back to the 40. So Lipscomb, his 2 carries tonight, -3 and -5 yards. He's a guy that ran the ball pretty well against Central last time these two teams played. I'm going to officially mark it third down and 9, so we'll adjust that, give him a -4. Third down and 9, running up the middle, breaking away. Another first down all the way into Central territory at the 45-yard line. It moves the chains. Kenny Fry gets the ball and runs for it. So Fry with the carry, and he's going to get 15 yards there. So Luray breaking some plays here in this drive, and that's not what you want to see if you're Central. I think Central might have drew him off sides, a false start, and it is. So that's going to push Luray back 5 yards, a little bit of a jump up the middle. So a little bit of a gift for Central, moving the ball back to midfield at the 50. First and 15 for Luray. Handing it off left. Jenkins lost a yard. Brady Jenkins, the 6-foot senior running back. He's got 18 touchdowns on the year, averages almost 9 yards per carry. He loses a yard there. Second and 16. So we have not seen Luray throw the football yet tonight, which, I mean, they're a dominant running team, and I'm sure they'll continue to do that. 6:45 left in the second. 2nd and 16 for the Bulldogs. Lipscomb going to take the snap, handing it off right side and breaking a tackle, but not breaking the next. There's 3 defenders right there to bottle up the runner. On the carry, it's Kenny Fry. And Central, I mean, they've got good gang tackling so far, and they're getting guys to the line of scrimmage and to the backfield. Nothing there on the run for Fry. 3rd and 16. Luray did get the football to start this ball game. Central won the toss and deferred. Well, we'll see if they pull out a pass here. 3rd and 16. 6 minutes to go, second quarter of play. And they're going to run up the middle. Pretty solid chunk there, and that's going to bring up another 4th down. Luray has had plenty of them on the drive.
Out past midfield to the 44-yard line. Stop made by Wilmer Barahona. Brings up 4th down and 9.
And they're going to punt. They're bringing out the punting unit now. Okay, 4th and 9. Keep an eye out for the fake. Huh. So they are going to punt, and it's a little pop-up, and that's towards the sideline. Takes a pretty nice roll, and down inside the 20 to about the 19. So Luray, after that long drive, they have to end up punting, and it goes back to Central as they will bring their offense back out onto the field, leading 7-0 here in the second with 5:10 to go. Again, we are keeping an eye out in that game in Strasburg. Still no score from what I can see. So, Central deep in their own territory, and that means you can't afford a turnover. You've got to get some breathing room. If you're Central, you'd love to just run the ball down the field, run the clock out, score before you do that, get to the half up at least 10 or 14. But this Luray defense has a chance here to make some big plays. He's going to throw it going deep down the left side, and that's going to be a penalty. It looked like their legs got tangled up. There was a good battle there between Ryder Lipscomb and Jake Boyce, and it looked like the legs or the ankles or something got tied up, and they took a fall, but the official in the backfield or in the secondary along with the side also threw the flag, so that's going to be a penalty, or at least it may be. Officials are now talking it over. So Central was trying to air it out down the left side of the field, and pretty good defense from Lipscomb, and just, they got tangled up, some contact there, and it warranted the penalty flag. So they're going to get a holding on the defense, and that will move the chains. And these penalties, these holding penalties especially, they are costly. So 5:03 to go in the second while we have a second. We will, again, thank some of our sponsors tonight: Frogs Garage in Maurytown, Wholesome Butcher and Deli, First Bank, Edinburgh Motors, and Cook's Country Store. Thank you to some of our sponsors. So Central, on that penalty, they are going to, now I know in the pros no, that's pass interference. Yeah, I don't know. They move the ball all the way up. Looks like at the 45-yard line from the 19 on that holding call. I don't know how. Oh, wow. Even farther than the 45. Almost at the 50-yard line. I don't know. I mean, on a holding call, Central goes from the 19 to almost the 50. They'll take it, and they're going to run it up the middle with Forbes. Pushing forward, not much there. And a flag in the secondary. That's probably going to be on the Bulldogs. Not sure what that could have been, but we'll see. So now the yellow laundry is flying all over the field the last couple of plays. Yeah, 27-yard holding call. So they're going to start marking off a penalty. Into Luray territory goes Central. Ball's going to be moved to about the 44. Looked like they got a face mask, so. So it's going to bring up second down. Okay. Well, the sign on the field says first down. 4:49 to go. I don't know. We've got some confusion here. Not sure how that works out, but first down and a couple. Barahona running backwards, still looking, throws it down the field, incomplete, but we've got a penalty, and that's probably going to be a hold on Central. Three back-to-back plays with flags, and right there, Barahona, the quarterback, he was just running right. Really looked like there was nothing there at all, and he finally heaved it, but that's going to be a hold on Central, and that's huge. So a 10-yard penalty on the Falcons. Barahona trying to get rid of it, but interesting play call there. I mean, I get it. You're first and short after that penalty, but there really wasn't anything there, and that drew the hold, and that's huge. 4:36 to go, second quarter here from Luray. It is our game of the week, one of our games of the week tonight here in the Region 2B semifinals. Luray coming in as the 2 seed, Central number 3. First and 16 for Central. They're going to throw again deep down the left side of the field and overthrowing the wide open receiver. Jake Boyce was wide open, and overthrew him was Barahona. That's going to go incomplete. It's second down. Huge miss there from Central. Great route there from Jake Boyce, and just couldn't get there. Second and 16 for the Falcons. They'll come out of the huddle. Mike Yo, the head coach of the Falcons, getting the play call in to the quarterback, Barahona. They're going to spread it out a little bit. 2 receivers, 1 left, 1 right. Ben Walters over here on our side. He's going to look to throw again. Here comes the pressure. He can't get rid of it. It's a screen. Finally call it right side, getting down to the 50. Finally out of bounds, and wow, Central somehow getting the ball out there. That was a huge opportunity for Luray. They got extreme pressure on Barahona, and he didn't get rid of that until the last possible second. And, I mean, great execution overall from Central on the screen. Brings up 3rd and 5. Wow. That was very close. So 3rd down and 5 in Luray territory. Clock continuing. Oh, it actually stopped. Pardon me. So 3rd and 5 at the Luray 48. Central holding on to a 7-0 lead. Again, these are 2 teams that score a lot of points, but so far tonight it hadn't been there. When they played the first time this year, it was 41-25 Luray. They're going to go 3 receivers left, 1 right in the shotgun, and we've got a stoppage. And Mike Yo, did he call a timeout? Yes, he did. So Central going to call a timeout. Mike Yo did not like something he saw as Barahona was in the gun. They were spreading it out, probably setting up a run up the middle, but instead we've got the second timeout of the night from the Falcons while we have another opportunity to mention some of our sponsors. I want to thank Kern Motor Company along with Appalachian Freight, Markley's Auto Service, Cook's Trailers, Italian Touch Pizza, Woodstock Equipment Company, and Brad Pollock, attorney at law. It's been a good game so far tonight. Hadn't been a lot of action. It's been kind of some lethargic action for the most part on both sides for Central and for Luray, but it's bringing us a good game. We've got a 7-0 score. Central trying to come on the road and beat the Bulldogs. Luray 9-2, but they lost both of their games at home here in the season. They lost to Strasburg back on October 21st, and East Rock, without their quarterback, they lost 35-14. So Luray actually lost 2 games in a row this year. Central's losses this year, they lost to Luray 41-25 back on October 7th, and they lost to Strasburg a couple weeks ago 22-17. 3rd and 5, and they're going to spread it out in the shotgun. 3 left, 1 right. Running back beside the quarterback, Barahona. Receiver in motion. And they're going to hand it off left side. It's a sweep, and he's going to be short. And that was on the carry, Luke Retrosi. So Retrosi on the sweep. Man, he was in motion. And he's not going to get much there at all, and they're going to line up to punt. So we are under 4 to go. Central lining up to punt. 4th and 4 at the Luray 47, up 7-0. They did run a fake punt last week, and they executed it. Would they run a fake punt 2 weeks in a row? It's a high snap, and he gets it away down the sideline. Nice Central bounce, but it rolls out at around the 22-yard line. Great pressure from Luray. That was a bad snap way up there, and Central just able to get it away. So it goes back to Luray with 3:28 to go in the second quarter. Again, Central will get the ball to start the third after they deferred to start the game. A fumble and then a touchdown run for Central after the turnover. Well, this is a big opportunity here for Luray. They know they're not getting the ball to start the second half, so they'd love to go down, score here, and tie it before the half. So they're going to start on their own 22-yard line, third possession of the night for the Bulldogs. A fumble and a punt. And breaking away down the field to the 50, to the 40, into Central territory, to the 30, and finally getting taken down on a shoelace tackle. Brady Jenkins all the way deep into Central territory. He broke away. 1 tackle saved him from going all the way, and it's a huge run for the Bulldogs.
Yards on that run for Brady Jenkins.
A 50-yard carry there for Jenkins on first down. And from the 22 to the 22. 3:05 to go. Running in the middle. Up the middle, it's Fry, and he finally gets taken down. But Luray with some big momentum on this drive. Under 3 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
Down to the 13-yard line. Down to the 12-yard line. That's our first down for the Bulldogs.
10 yards there for Fry. And we've got an official timeout. So huge running here on this drive for the Bulldogs. Finally waking up. A huge run from Jenkins, getting 50. First down and 10 at the Central 12 here for the Bulldogs. For the most part tonight, Central had done a great job of avoiding the big runs, but that one was a big one, to say the least. Both teams in the huddle. Now Luray going to break out and head up to the line of scrimmage. If you're Luray here, you've got to be careful. You don't want to turn the football over. You don't want to have any penalties. They're going to run it. Left side, up the middle, towards the end zone. Bryant right around the end zone, and he's in. A 12-yard scamper for the touchdown. And this ball game is an extra point away from being tied. And Kason Bryant, the freshman, runs it in from 12 yards out, and it's 7-6 here in the second quarter. So no answer there at all for Central's defense. They had been so good all half, but it fell apart there on that drive. And Luray going to go for 2 here. And Bryant towards the end zone. No signal yet. Still nothing. Did he get in? He was short. And Central
2-point conversion.
Central is going to hold on to a 7-6 lead. Luray, instead of kicking the extra point, they go for two, and they don't prevail. So we'll see. Does that come back and be a factor? 2:32 to go in the second half. We're back in the second quarter. We're back after this on Valley Sports Radio. Back to Luray. 2:32 to go in the second quarter. Central leading the Bulldogs 7-6. Luray scored the touchdown, went for two, and did not get it. Falcons get the ball to start the second half, so now they're going to see if they can score. Luray, a quick drive there, only 4 plays, and they got it in for the touchdown. Bryant from 12 yards out. First score of the night for Luray. So they will kick it away here to Central. Pretty solid kick down the sideline, and it did it go into the end zone? And Central evidently downed it. They picked it up at inside the 5. I don't know what went wrong there. The kick was perfectly located. And Central thought the ball was going to roll into the end zone, and he finally picked it up at about the 2-yard line. Oh, what a disaster for Central. He let it go, and Central, with only one timeout, you start thinking about Luray possibly getting a chance. So all the way down to the 2-yard line of Central after the kickoff, just trickled down. Central waited until the last second, finally picked it up, and that is not good execution at all there from the Falcons. So 1st and 10 for Central at their 2-yard line with 2:30 to go in the second quarter. And this is where you think of the Bills-Vikings game the other day. Central's going to run it, and they get out down the sideline at about the 10, so a good run there. Barahona on the carry. And he gets 8, 2nd down and 2. So that's what Central needed. They needed to get out of their own end zone. They do that. Clock will stop temporarily or until they get ready to go. 2:25 left in the second. It's been a running game for the most part. Luray still hasn't even thrown the ball once. Central's thrown it 5 times. 2nd down and 2. Central running it right, and on the handoff, nothing really there. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Unless he got it. Oh, they are going to give it to him. Okay, 1st down. Oh, no. Oh, Luray's going to call a timeout. Okay. So, okay, it is going to bring up 3rd down. Going to be 3rd and 2. Big play coming up for Central. Think back to earlier in the game, Luray kept running the ball, or they kept going for it deep in their own territory on 4th down, and every single time they executed. Other than that fumble in the first drive, they played pretty well. They just haven't been able to put multiple drives together yet. But if they can continue to do what they did on the last drive, it could be a very, very interesting second half, something Central definitely does not want to see. So we will wait for the players to come out of the timeout, get ready for the final couple of minutes. In Strasburg, the Rams lead Stuarts Draft 14-0 with 30 seconds to go in the first half. So the Strasburg Rams now up by 2 touchdowns after a scoreless first quarter. 3rd down and 2 for the Falcons. They're on their own 10. They're going to run it. And diving forward, did the ball come out? Did Central fumble on their own 10? Luray is convinced, and they did. Central turns it over on their own 10-yard line. And a member of the Falcons continues to get up and fall over. Hopefully he's okay. So Central on 3rd and 2 on their own 10, and they fumble the football. A huge fumble. So that's going to give it back to Luray, trying to see who that player is that's down. There's a something to Mike Yo and the training staff out to check on that Central player. He fell over, then he got up and kind of fell again. That's 62. Connor Fulcher. Fulcher is a 6'3 junior lineman. So, well, Central's in for a little bit of a predicament now. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't turn it over in your own red zone or your own 20. So, 2:09 to go here in the second quarter. Luray and the Catbirds seat now to score another touchdown and go up before the half. Turnovers plagued Central in the first matchup, and right now that's a huge turnover, and that could shift the momentum of this ball game. 1st and 10 for Luray. Lipscomb, the quarterback, under center. Now he's going to pop out, and he's back under center. They're going to hand it off. And Fry forward for minimal gains, second down, and we're under 2 minutes to go now in the second quarter. Fry only gets a yard there. Fry's had some good carries tonight, but you think back to the Jenkins 50-yard run and the Bryant 12-yard touchdown. Those are the ones that really come to mind if you're thinking of Luray's big plays tonight. Luray in no hurry at all, which is understandable. 2nd down and 9. Again, handing it off right side. Central, pretty good tackling. Out to inside about the 9. It's Kenny Fry again.
Stopped by Wilmer Barahona. 3rd and 7.
So he's going to be about 7 yards shy. 3rd and 7. Couple yards there on the carry. Well, they've got Jacob Choate over here. He's stretching out his leg a little bit. And Jenkins is going to run up the middle for Luray, and he is very close to getting into the end zone, just short. 54 seconds to go in the second quarter. It was Jenkins. And he gets the first down. Clock will wind now. 45 seconds left here in the first half. Central up 7-6, but Luray just 3 yards away from taking the lead. 1st and goal from the 3. Handing it up the middle. And he's very close. No signal. He's going to be short. And we've got a timeout, Luray. 27 seconds to go here in the first half. He's going to be a yard short. 2nd and goal from the 1. So Luray just a yard away from picking up a huge score after the Central fumble. Looked like Central was going to go into the half at least up 7-6, if not more, but that has suddenly changed. And we will keep it right here as we prepare for this huge play coming up. Make sure you come back with us at the half. We'll update you on some stats from this game. We'll take a look at the college and professional levels, and we'll check in with that game in Strasburg, see how that's going over there with Strasburg and Stewart's Draft, one of our other games of the week tonight. 7-6 Central here from Luray and our high school action on a frigid night in Luray, Virginia. 27 seconds to go. A huge turnover for Central just a little bit ago. 2nd and goal from the 1. Luray. Lipscomb under center, takes a snap, hands it off. Jenkins, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Brady Jenkins with his first touchdown of the night, and Luray takes a 12-7 lead just before halftime here from Luray. So 22 seconds to go in the first half, and they're going to go for it again, try to get to that 14 mark. All right, they're going to go for it. So the Bulldogs trying to get up to the 14 mark. They're going to run it, handing it off, and I think he's short again. He's short. All right, so Luray 0 for 2 tonight on 2-point tries. That'll keep it at 12-7. 22 seconds to go here in the first half. And we will keep it right here as we're coming up on the halftime break. Again, you can head over to valleysportsradio.com for all the scores and much more and the streams of the broadcast that we have tonight. Central Luray and Stewart's Draft at Strasburg. Again, I'm Kyle Gutschall. Thanks for tuning in tonight. As it's been a good ball game as we expected. Some big turnovers have proven costly for both teams, but right now, especially for Central. Both teams coming out as Luray's ready to kick it off to the Falcons. 22 seconds to go, and if you're Luray here, you're just avoiding. Don't want to give up a kickoff return for a touchdown. That's about what you're looking at. Central only with, I believe, one timeout, if any. So they will prepare to receive here right before the half. Again, Central does get the ball to start the second half. So they're going to be, looks like they're probably going to be down in this game, but they'll have possession first. Start the second half. Couple of huge plays on that drive. First, the kickoff that went down to the 2, and then the fumble. Luray going to kick it off, and it's going to be caught by Central at about the 25 up to the 30, 35. And taken down right at about the 35. That was Retrosi. So 14 seconds left in this first half. We'll see what Central decides to do here, if they just kind of want to concede to the second half or if they're going to try to heave a couple. All right, so 1st and 10 from, they're going to mark them at the 34. A little bit of a mini prevent defense here from Luray. And they're going to kneel down. So Luray, after an interesting first half, is going to take the lead into the halftime locker room with Central receiving to start the second half. Luray 12, Central 7. We're at halftime. Come back with us. It's the high school football game of the week on Valley Sports Radio. Central will await the kickoff here from Luray. Bulldogs leading Falcons of Central 12-7. Kyle Gutschall with you from Luray, Virginia. Bulldogs will kick it deep, and it'll be called at about the 15, up to the 20, to the 25, the 30, and a wall of tacklers unable Central to get past the tackling, and that moves Central's offense onto the field to start the second half. Momentum really switched hands to the Luray side towards the end of that first half. That is for sure.
Be 1st and 10 on the 35 for the Falcons.
So the Falcons bring their offense out. And Central going up the middle and nothing there at all. As Barahona tries to get through, gets about a yard. 2nd down and 9. Falcons slow to get out of the huddle. Now they'll come up to the line of scrimmage at their own 36-yard line. A lot of room on the right side. They're going to look to throw. Barahona scrambling right. He's going to keep it, and he's going to run out of bounds. Got about 5 yards there on second, so it brings up 3rd down for the Falcons.
Run out of bounds by Alex Runyon.
So that brings up third down and about 6. He didn't even get as much as I thought he did. So Barahona, who had 31 passing yards in the first half, he took off there and got 2 rushing yards. Third down and 6. They're going to throw left side. Good blocking by the Falcons, and it's going to be enough for a first down. And we've got a flag in the backfield, and that's going to be a hold, and that'll wipe out the Central first down. Pass was to Walters, and that's going to be a huge hold. So it's going to bring up third down and 11, so still manageable, but Central, a team that loves to run the ball, so we'll see how that impacts them here. We're just underway in the second half. Central trailing Luray 12-7, 10:53 to go here in tonight's ball game. Thank you for tuning in wherever you may be listening from, Shenandoah County and beyond. They're going to run on third down and 11, and that's not going to be close at all. So Central concedes the drive there, and they're going to punt. So the carry there was by Jorge Guzman, and they only got 2 yards. Oh, an interesting choice there. Central goes nowhere on their opening drive. And a 3-and-out will force them to punt it away here to the Luray. They looked like Central jumped, but they are going to get the punt away. Pretty solid punt into Luray territory. Takes a Luray bounce at about the 31, maybe at the 30. And that is where Luray will bring their offense onto the field. They definitely captured the momentum after the first quarter into the second, and Central's going to need to keep that at a minimum if they want to get back into the momentum swing of things and try to get back on the board and take the lead. And something to remember, Luray is 0 for 2 tonight on 2-point conversions. Could that be a factor? Still unknown at this point. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Lipscomb under center. And he will run it, or give it up the middle, I should say. And diving forward for a couple. And that was Bryant. Bryant, not a whole lot there. A couple of yards, if that. And those 2 will give him unofficially 30 yards, according to my marks. So 2nd down and 8. See if Central can contain them. A couple of big plays for Luray tonight. And running left side is Jenkins. He's going to break multiple tackles, and he is breaking away into Central territory. He's finally knocked out of bounds into Central territory at about the 41. Huge carry again for Luray.
37 yards on that carry.
So 37 yards on the carry for Luray. Brady Jenkins showing why he's been so dominant all season. 9 minutes to go in the third. Luray driving into Central territory. Handoff inside, and maybe a couple yards there for Kason Bryant, the 6-foot freshman. Going to give him 3.
Stop made by number 14, Wilmer Barahona.
Well, if you're Central here, I mean, the way this game is gone, you want to get a stop and get the ball back, and you really don't want to allow any points in any fashion, even a field goal, really. 2nd down and 7 for Luray at the Central 38. And a couple of big blockers coming in and taking down the runner. Ball carrier was Kenny Fry.
He's close to the 35-yard line.
So Fry on that carry. Going to bring up 3rd and 5. Had Fry for just under 50 yards in the first half. He was efficient, some big carries. Third down and 5 at the Central 36. Jenkins, he's running forward, and he's going to get a first down. And a member of Central is down in the backfield. And that is Barahona. Oh, my. Elijah Barahona goes down, and he will go off to the sideline. Meanwhile, a first down for Luray. First down and 10 now for the Bulldogs. Central 29, running again, left. Jenkins again.
Brady Jenkins with the carry.
And this is what we saw in Woodstock a couple of weeks ago. Luray completely dominating and doing what they want to do when they ran the ball. Central contained them for the first quarter, and then the second quarter is when Luray started to heat up. Second down and 5 now, 6:50 to go in the third. Running right. Couple of tacklers coming in and getting Fried down. And he's going to get not much, maybe a couple. 3rd and 3.
Hayden Wetzel with the stop for the Falcons.
Hayden Wetzel getting in there on the tackle. A couple of different guys in there for Central. Third down and 2. A huge drive in this ball game for the Luray Bulldogs. 8th play of the drive, and the ball's loose. Penalty flag comes out, and something went wrong there on the snap. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Don't know if the center dropped the ball or if the quarterback Lipscomb dropped the ball, but some early motion there. And it's 3rd down and 7. That's going to push the Bulldogs back to back to the Central 27. Clock rolls. We're halfway through the third. Again, thank you for joining us here. We are in the Region 2B semifinals. Central and Luray. The Bulldogs on top of the Falcons, but still plenty of time for Central to make some noise. They need some stops here, though. 3rd and 7. They're going to run it left side. It's going to be Jenkins running into a bunch of Central defenders, and pretty good pushing by Jenkins. All right, so this is a big spot here. It brings up 4th down. Jenkins gets about 3. Could that 5-yard penalty loom large? Yeah, I mean, you have to assume they're going to go for it. They're not kicking PATs. They're going for it every time, so they are going to go for it. They have converted every time tonight on 4th down. Luray is a perfect, I think it's 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 on 4th. 4th and 5, they're going to go, and Jenkins goes over the defenders, and he's not going to get it. He's well short. Interesting play call there. Got a couple of yards, but nothing close to what he needed, and Luray turns the football over with 4:57 to go. It goes back to Central, and that is a huge defensive stop. They had to have it, and they got it. So that is really something we may look back on later in this evening. So now Central gets the ball back down 5. So we've seen the fumble from Luray and then the 4th down fail there. Really, I didn't look like much of a chance on that play call. Just good job up front. Central's going to throw the ball. Barahona's going to heave it off his back foot, and it's dropped. Oh, my. Looked like the ball was going to be caught. Runyon was under it. It was well underthrown, and he just I don't know. It's like he he lost the focus on the football. He tried to one-hand it. Should have easily been intercepted. Central catching a huge break. Barahona, you're never supposed to throw it off your back foot, especially in the double coverage. Both of those things happen there. And Runyon, he had it right there. That would have been an easy interception, but he couldn't hold on. Central catches a break, 2nd down and 10 on their own 23. They've gotten away from the run game too much. Not sure what's going on. They're going to run it right side this time. Cutting back, breaking away, nearly fumbling the football, and he retrieved it at the 40. Oh, my goodness. Jake Boyce broke some tacklers, moved the ball all the way up to the 40. He nearly fumbled the football. He bobbled it, but he brought it back in. Huge break for Central. 1st down, Falcons. .4:20 to go, 3rd quarter. Central 1st and 10 at their own 40. They're going to run it again. Left side, breaking away some tacklers, still up into Luray territory, almost to the 45. Another good run. Guzman with 20. Let's see. It's going to be up to the 47.
After the 46-yard line, that's enough for a 1st down for the Falcons.
So some big runs here in this possession. That was 13 yards by Guzman. 1st and 10 for Central again, running up the middle. I think that's Forbes. We haven't seen him in a while. Not sure where he's been, but he's back now. So Tyler Forbes, who is usually the muscle man and the guy that it's tough to take down. We haven't seen him too much. He only got 2 there, 2nd down and 8. Forbes is a guy that has been a big part of this offense. He's got 17 touchdowns coming in. 2nd down and 8. They're going to run it again, right side. And good blocking. Forward still pushing forward for another 1st down. So Central, a little bit of life here in this drive after stopping them on 4th. Runyon on the tackle. Under 3 to go in the 3rd. First down and 10 for the Falcons. And it's going to be Tyler Forbes. He's going to keep it up the middle. And some positive yardage there for Central. 2nd down coming up. Going to get about 3 yards there. Luray continues to not allow Forbes to get out in space, and that's huge. 2:10 to go in the 3rd quarter. Central trailing Luray 12-7, but they are at the Luray 33, 2nd down and 7. Hand off. No, yes it is. Lucero, and he gets whipped down around the neck. And maybe got a yard. No penalty. And he got 1. So here's 3rd down and 6. Even though you've got a heck of a kicker in Retrosi, I think this is 4 down. Depending on what happens on this play, I think you've just got to keep pressing forward and go for it. But, the conditions tonight are not ideal. And we've got a stoppage, and Central is going to burn a timeout here. So they're drawing up a play, and we will take the timeout as well. 12-7 Luray. It's the game of the week on Valley Sports Radio. And we are out of the timeout. Big play in this ball game. Central trailing by 5. 1:23 to go in the 3rd. 3rd and 6 at the Luray 31. They're going to take the snap. They're going to look to throw. Barahona down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. And double coverage again. And somebody down for Central again. And surprised, another throw by Barahona into double coverage. And probably another play that should have been, or another pass that should have been intercepted. Instead, it falls incomplete. It's 4th and 6, and can't tell who's down for Central in the secondary. Member of the Falcons is banged up and injured. The training staff out to check on him. Hopefully he will be okay. And they are continuing to give him some attention. Meanwhile, in Strasburg, Ryan Roller has thrown his 3rd touchdown pass of the night. Strasburg up 21-0, 11 to go in the 4th.
Fourth quarter score from Strasburg, 21. Stewart's draft 0.
And let's see. Is that Ben Walters? One of their leading receivers. It looks like number 6. Unless there's a number in front of the 6. No. No. Walters is helping carry off the player in the middle. Can't tell who it is. And if it's 11, Jake Boyce, that's their leading receiver. So Luke Retrosi, who is their man to kick field goals, is not on the field. Central with some confusion. Are they going to have to burn another one? Now they're telling somebody to get back out there. Big play here. 4th down and 6 for Central. They're going to go for it. Man in motion. Quarterback is going to keep it up the middle, and he's not going to get there. And the flag comes out. I think I saw a flag on the far side. It looked like a flag on the far side. And if it's a face mask, that would be huge. And it is. Oh, my goodness. It's an automatic first down. Oh, my. On 4th down and 6, Central is short, but a face mask penalty will move the chains. Unbelievable. Central catching a huge break right there. And that will move it. 1st and 10 at the 24 of Luray now. Clock rolling, 1:05 to go in this 4th quarter. This thing looks like it's going to come down to the wire. Central catching a break there. They're going to try to take advantage. Quarterback Barahona going to go out right. Receiver wide open. Catch is made. Pushing towards the sideline. It's Retrosi. And Luke Retrosi makes the catch, and he's out of bounds. And he's going to get about 9 yards there. 2nd and 1, clock rolling, 35 seconds left here in the 3rd. This game was tied 12-7 at halftime, and we're still there. Up the middle, Forbes. And you'd have to think he's very close. Might be a little short, though. Can't tell from the spot on the far side. McClung getting there on the tackle, and did he say he's short? Just short, okay. 3rd and inches for Central, and that's going to be the last play of this 3rd quarter, and we are going to the 4th. Going to the 4th quarter in Luray. The Bulldogs 12, the Falcons 7, but Central is driving, and we are going to have an interesting 4th quarter. Make sure you're with us. We're going to take a quick break and come back after this. It is the game of the week on Valley Sports Radio. Well, we are headed to the 4th here in Luray, and this is going to be a heck of a finish. Central down 12-7. We go to the 4th. They will bring their offense onto the field at the Luray 14, 3rd down and 1. A huge face mask call on 4th down and 6, where Central was not even close, moved the chains, and now the Falcons with a chance. Down 12-7. They're going to run the play. It's going to be up the middle. It's going to be a 1st down and more, and punching towards the end zone, and hits in for a touchdown. A 14-yard scamper for Tyler Forbes, bouncing off the tacklers, and Central has the lead once again with 11:52 to go, and another injury. And this time it's Luray, but Tyler Forbes, who they'd kept quiet all night long, gets it in on the first play of the fourth quarter, and Central reclaims the lead. And they're going to go for two here. They're up 13-12 again. Luray, think back, they have missed two two-point conversions. Kenny Fry was injured on the play, and he's a big part of this team, so they want to make sure he's good, and it looks like he is. So Retrosi, who has been a heck of a kicker this year, looks like they're going to save him here and try to make it a three-point game. Again, just starting the fourth quarter. Central now leading this ball game 13-12. Central is going to go for two. They've got a receiver out left. It's a huge play here. And quarterback is going to keep it himself. He's going to cut back, and he is in for the two-point conversion. The quarterback, Barahona, with a keeper left side. He had to beat one man, and he did just that. And Central now up 15-12 with plenty of time to go in this one. 11:52 to go. What a drive from Central. You have to think back to the face mask, though. That is, I mean, that play right there, it could be huge for Central. They took advantage of it. And they are back up. They're up by 3. And, again, you think back to Luray. I mean, when you're 0 for 2 on two-point tries, typically you don't think back to it. But if they had at least one of those two-point conversions, you know, a lot of things could be different. We can say whatever we want about, you know, looking back in the past. But we'll see if it mounts largely as we get towards the end of this one. But give Central credit. I think back to that drive where they had where Luray was on fourth down at about 3 or 4, and they stopped them. Central got the ball back, went down, drove the field. The penalty saved them on fourth down, and then first play of the fourth quarter, Tyler Forbes punching it in from 14 yards out, giving Central their first lead since early in the first half when they led 7-0 and 7-6 as well. So both teams will run out into the field, and this is going to switch things back over after this kickoff, as it's going to give Luray an opportunity after they had really captured the momentum in this ball game after the first quarter into the second and third, and suddenly in the fourth it feels like they have really minimal momentum, but still a lot of time, and we will see what happens. Central is going to have to play their best defense against this run-heavy Luray squad. So Retrosi will boot it, and for the third time tonight, Central offsides on the kickoff. So Retrosi will have to kick it again. That makes up for him not kicking PATs, really, and field goals, so he's just kicking off multiple times each time. So Retrosi will tee it up again. Again, he hit a 48-yard field goal last week at a school record. All right, here we go. This time it was legal. Ball's booted deep and picked up and touched around the 5-yard line and getting pushed backwards and nearly getting out of the end zone is Luray, down to about the 1-yard line or so. We have seen some absolutely terrible execution tonight. Both teams on special teams. Central, huge blunder earlier, and right there Luray as well. So ball's gonna be spotted around the 6 or 7 yard line. They did get out of the end zone, got some extra yardage. We've got a tough angle up here, so trying to do our best. And this is huge. 11:45 left in this fourth quarter. Central leading at 15-12. Luray backed up deep in their own territory.
If you're parked in the parking lot, thank you.
Luray still has not thrown the football tonight. They have been very good running the ball, as always. They will run left. And good block at first. Then a couple of Falcon tacklers come flying in. And that was Brady Jenkins on the carry. So Jenkins with a decent pickup on first down. They're going to give him about 5 yards, 2nd down and 5.
Second down and 5 for the Bulldogs.
Jenkins is about 130 yards or so tonight. He's had a good night. Second down and 5 for the Bulldogs on their own 12. And trying to go up the middle. I mean, Central, obviously when you see a team twice, you kind of start to figure them out a little bit, but not too much there. Third down for the Bulldogs. Third down and 5 for Luray, deep in their own territory. Big play here. Team that does not pass the ball very often at all. And oh my. And if that's on Luray, that's huge. And it is.
False start call on the Bulldogs.
That's a 5-yard penalty. It's third down and 10. Huge penalty. So third down at about 10 now. Long 9, short 10. Okay, so let's see what the Bulldogs do. We are now under 10 to go in the fourth quarter. Central leading Luray 15-12. It's been back and forth all night. 2 9-2 teams. The 2 seed versus the 3. And they are going to throw the football. Lipscomb is going deep, wide open, and the catch is not made. It's incomplete. Well defended by Central. Pretty decent throw, but underthrown. The first throw of the night from Ryder Lipscomb comes in the fourth quarter, down 15-12 with 9:42 to go. It falls incomplete, and it's fourth down, and they will have to punt. I mean, you had to expect they were going to throw the football there, and they did. And at first it looked like it may work out, but Central there, ball was underthrown. It gave them too much time to get to the football. And a punt, and it's not a good one. It's going to trickle out about the 41 of Luray. Okay, so couple of big plays. And now Central has it starting in Luray territory. Okay. Big possession. Can Central add to their lead, or can Luray force another fumble like they did earlier that really turned this game on its head? So they're going to jump into the huddle. Thank you for tuning in here on our Game of the Week. We knew it was going to be a good one, and we have not been disappointed up to this point. 9:34 to go in the fourth. Central starting at the Luray 41. They're going to run left side. And getting a couple of yards, if of that, is Jorge Guzman Lucero. Fry there on the tackle. Got about 2 yards there, 2nd down and 8. Now here's something to remember. It's a 3-point game. We realize that. Retrosi, long distance kicker for Central. I mean, even if you get a field goal, it's still only a 6-point game. But Luray, evidently, they're not kicking extra points tonight. And they're 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions. And we've got a flag coming in early, and that's going to be a huge flag. That's going to push Central back 5 yards, early movement. It's going to be 2nd and 13. So 8:50 to go in the fourth quarter, a stoppage after the penalty on Central. 2nd and long here. 2nd and about 13. If you're Central, you don't want to play too conservative. You've got to pick up first downs. You've got to try to score points. You don't want to play keep away at this point, especially against this Luray team that can score in a hurry. 2nd and 13. Central's going to spread it out. 2 receivers right, 1 left. They're going to throw. Looking left and staying up is the quarterback. What a play. He gets out of the sack towards the sideline, and he's going to get yardage there. The fact that he got positive yardage is a miracle on that play. He was halfway down. Somehow he kept his balance, stayed up, and stayed in bounds and kept the clock rolling. 3rd down and 10. Give Barahona 3 rushing yards. That's the quarterback. I cannot believe he did not go down there. 3rd down and 10. Central taking their sweet time. And they're going to call a time. No, I thought they were going to call a timeout. Quarterback's still over there talking to Mike Yo. Clock will continue to roll. Yeah, it looks like they are going to. They're going to run the clock all the way down. And Mike Yo is going to call a timeout. Central famous for using their timeouts early. That could come back and get them. We'll find out. So with that timeout, we will take our own. Central leading 15-12. It's the game of the week on Valley Sports Radio. Central up 15-12, 7:25 to go in the 4th quarter. Big play here for the Falcons. They're going to pass it out left. Wide open, cutting back, and Retrosi is short on the 3rd and 10. They go left on the screen after the timeout. It'll keep the clock moving. Okay, so what do you do here? And it looks like they're going to punt. Wow. Okay. So Retrosi gets 4 on the catch. We're under 7 minutes to go in the 4th. Central, they look to be punting here with their 3-point lead in the 4th quarter. 4th down and 6. Last couple of snaps have not been good for Central. What a way that would be to have your season go down the drain. And it is a terrible snap. Good recovery, and he boots it away. What a recovery. And down to about the 1-yard line, or I should say the 5, and falling on it are the Bulldogs. And walking off gingerly is Luray's number 4, Alex Runyon. So a great job there by the punter for recovering and getting that away. The snap was way too high, and he got it down, and Luray decided to fall in the football inside of the 10. Okay, the ball is spotted at the 4-yard line. So they need 96 yards in 6.5 minutes to win this ball game. 6.5 to go. They're going to run up the middle. First play of the drive. It's a pretty decent run. Give them some breathing room. 6:25 and rolling here in the 4th. Fry going to get the carry there. And it's going to be 2nd down and 4. Winner of this moves on to play either Strasburg or Stewart's Draft next week at Strasburg. If Strasburg wins, which looks like they will win that ball game. 2nd down and 4. We saw Luray break off a couple of big runs tonight. This would be the time. And they're going to break it out left and running into his own man with a blocker in front. Jenkins goes down. And it brings up 3rd.
Out to the 12.
He gets 2. 5:40 to go in the 4th quarter. This is a running team. We've seen 1 pass tonight, and that was last drive on 4th down. Lipscomb couldn't connect with his receiver. 3rd down and 2. Biggest drive of the season for either team is right here, right now. And they're going to hand it off, and it looks like he's short. He's going to be a yard short. Bryant gets the carry and does not get the 1st down. Did he get anything? He didn't get anything. It's 4th and 2, and they're going to go for it. This is the play of the season to this point. Luray going to go on their own 13-yard line. Here we go. 4th and 2. They're handing it off right side. And Central thinks he's short. And we're waiting on a signal. Is he short? Could he be short? He is. And Central takes over a turnover on downs with 4:32 to go in the fourth quarter. Unbelievable defense by the Falcons. They needed 2 yards from third to fourth. They couldn't get anything on either. And they turn it over to Central with 4.5 minutes to go at their own 13-yard line. What a defensive performance, especially in the second half by the Falcons. So now Central just needs to keep the clock moving. They need to hold on to the football. And Forbes breaks forward for a couple of yards, second down. I mean, the defense tonight, they've shown up when they needed to. They struggled mightily last time these two teams played. Forbes with 6 yards, and on the carry, it's a touchdown. Breaking away on a 7-yard scamper and into the end zone for a touchdown. And Central, who hurried up to the line while I was checking my notes. And a touchdown, a huge one, possibly a game winner. And they're up 21-12, 4:09 to go in the fourth quarter. Extra point, Retrosi. Kick is deep, and it is good. Central 22, Luray 12. 4:09 to go in the fourth. We'll take a quick break and come back after this on the Game of the Week. It's Valley Sports Radio. 4:09 to go in the fourth quarter. Central now leading Luray 22-12. Tyler Forbes had that 12-yard touchdown, his second touchdown of the night. Central, to my surprise, they hurried up to the line in the hurry-up offense and just ran it left, and Forbes was able to break away and score his second touchdown of the night. And just a quite shocking turn of events here in this second half, to say the least. 22-12, and Central will kick it away. The special teams tonight, that has made a difference in a big way, and making the play and good tackle for the Falcons, not allowing Luray to do much of anything on the return. So Central was up 7-0, then 7-6. Then they were down 12-7. They were up 15-12, and now they're up 22-12. Well, Luray going to take over on their own 22 in the fourth quarter. Here in the Region 2B semis, the winner moves on to take on Strasburg next week. And they've got 4 minutes and 4 seconds to score some points. So let's see. They're going to huddle up and bring it up to the line. But the story of this second half has been Central's defense. That is what it's been, making big stops when they need to. Bulldogs have struggled the last couple of plays to run the ball. And moving forward, and a flag coming in from the Central side. That's not what you want to see if you're Central, if that's on the Falcons. You don't want penalties given free yardage. So we've got a meeting here, and if this is a hold, this is really going to force Luray to have to throw the football. They already probably should be anyway. Face mask on Central. Okay, well that's free yardage and untimed yardage. That's huge. So that's going to move the ball past the 40 to about the 41, 42. 5 on the run, 15 on the penalty. Clock will roll. I mean, you've got to think Luray's going to start throwing the football. Under center, Lipscomb. He is going to take the snap. He's going to throw. Looking left, and a little push, but not enough there. Intended for Bryant, and it's incomplete. Second down and 10. So Lipscomb does throw it. He's 0 for 2 on the night passing. He's also rushed for -7 yards. So not a great night for the quarterback, Lipscomb. Negative. And as the PA announcer at Strasburg says, a penalty, loss of 1 on the penalty, on the on the incomplete pass. They're going to run left and lowering the shoulder a couple of times there. Still going all the way to the 40-yard line. A couple of crazy stiff arms there from Brady Jenkins. Central, and somebody for Central's banged up after that. Barahona is banged up after taking that. Jenkins 19 yards on the carry. Really should have only had about 5, and he used his athletic ability to just bulldozer over Falcon defenders. Clock will roll, 3.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Central up by 10. Luray driving at the Central 40. Lipscomb's going to hand it off, and just not enough there, and that's going to take time to get back into the huddle and get going. We're going to go under 3 minutes here on this next play. Bryant on the carry. He's going to get a couple of yards, and they're still huddling up here. It's kind of surprising. 3 minutes to go, clock rolling. They're slowly out of the huddle to the line of scrimmage. 2:55. Tight formation, running, right side. A little bit of a hole, but then it quickly got shut. And that was Kenny Fry, so the Bulldogs continuing to stick to their main thing, and that's running the football. A few yards there for Fry. Third and a few for the Bulldogs. Crunch time here tonight at Bulldog Field. Clock will roll. And now they're back in the huddle. .235 to go. They need points and an onside kick. 3rd and 5. They are going to look to throw. Lipscomb looking deep. He's getting chased. Scrambling right. And there's probably going to be a hold. He's still going. He takes a hard lick. And we've got a hold in the backfield, and that's going to possibly kill the chances for the Bulldogs. Quarterback Lipscomb, when he got taken down, he got clocked pretty hard. No penalty flag on the far side, but they do get the hold, and that pretty much wipes out their possession, at least for now. 3rd down and long. Huge penalties tonight have really killed the Bulldogs. 2:19 clock is stopped, and they are moving the ball nearly to the 50-yard line, so Luray going in the wrong direction. 2:17 clock rolls. Bulldogs in the huddle again, 3rd and 20. They have to have a score, or touchdown. They're not kicking the ball tonight. And they're going to hand off up the middle, continuing to stay up. Some extra yardage and heck of a pickup, really, on that carry. That was Brady Jenkins. On 3rd and 20, he gets 9. It's 4th down and 11. And the clock is still rolling. So they're not, okay, so they're just letting this thing run out. Luray is not calling it. They're letting this game roll out. Okay. They're going to look to throw, possibly the last play of the season on offense. Lipscomb to the sideline. It's tipped, and did he catch it? I think he did. The ball deflected. Lipscomb completes the pass. Nansel makes the catch. The ball was tipped around, and he held on. That was to save the season for now. Luray going to call a timeout with 1:17. They've got a new set of downs, 1st down and 10. We will keep it right here. Wow. So the quarterback, Lipscomb, rolling out of the pocket. He heaved it down the right side of the field and making the catch. Looked like it might have been deflected from here. I don't know. It was just kind of the weird trajectory on it. But Nansel made the catch on 4th and 11. It saves the game for now for the Bulldogs. They're still down 10 with 1:17. And now only 2 timeouts. I mean, really their path here is they're going to have to score a touchdown, get an onside kick. And we've got a final score out of Strasburg. The Rams have defeated the Stewart's Draft Squad 28-7. They will host tomorrow night or next Friday night. So the Rams are heading to the region championship. Will it be a rematch against their county rival Strasburg, or will they have a rematch against the Bulldogs, a team they beat this year as well? 1st and 10 for Luray. 1:17 to go in the fourth quarter. In the shotgun. They're going to go deep into the end zone and overheaving the end zone and to the back of the end zone. Who was that at quarterback? They had a lefty at quarterback there. 44 was at quarterback there. So they love to use their running backs, and they use them there just in a passing situation. Now a flag is going to come in, and that's going to be on Luray. Oh, my, unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh, goodness gracious. You look back to some penalties tonight. That right there is one. The face mask earlier. The weird holding call that went for 25, almost 30 yards. That was also a very odd penalty flag thrown tonight. 2 missed interceptions that looked like were relatively easy. Again, I'm sitting up here, but still. And we saw a lot of penalties in the first game between these two teams. At Central, where the Falcons just continued to make mistakes and turn the ball over. So 1:12 to go here in the fourth. Central can taste it. They are trying to punch their ticket and get revenge on their county rivals, the Strasburg Rams. Official is over here talking to the Luray head coach, Nolan Jeffries. I knew it was going to come from Luray because the official was standing right beside the huddle and he threw his flag, so you knew it was coming from that side. So they are going in a interesting formation here. They're direct snapping it with the quarterback lined up to the left. Again, the lefty, Jenkins, is going to throw it. He's going to line it and nearly intercepted as he was trying to get it to Ryder Lipscomb, and we have a penalty. It's a hold, and that is just going to kind of drag out the ultimate final in this one. I think Luray is just, self-inflicted mistakes continuing to punish them. Third and let me get this right. 3rd and 40. 3rd and 40 for Luray. Okay. They're going to need to call up their best flea flicker here. And the clock will run. We've got a minute to go in this ball game. The clock is running after an incomplete pass. Now they're stopping it. Yeah, the clock should not have been, the official in the field should not have started the clock. So they're going to reset it to 107. I've seen some crazy things tonight, but starting the clock on an incomplete pass, I didn't expect to see that tonight. Yeah, they're cold out there. 2nd and 40 for Luray. Yeah, that's right, 2nd and 40. And they're going to run the ball up the middle. And Bryant loses his. Oh, he lost the ball. He fumbled the football. And Central is going to win this ball game. Central is going to win this ball game. The Bulldogs season is going to come to a shocking end after a pretty decent first quarter and first half. Central going to come away with the upset tonight after a big hit knocked the ball loose from the ball handler there, and Central recovered. Second fumble of the night for Luray. So Central will come out and kneel down and send this thing to Strasburg next week. So, Central's going to come away with an upset win here tonight on the road in chilly Luray. So the officials are getting together. There's a player down. That's who fumbled the football. They're checking on him. So Central on their way to their 10th win of the year. It's tough to beat a team twice in 1 year. And, well, Luray had a lot of issues going on tonight with ball security and committing penalties. And, I mean, Central, they made some stops tonight. They made some stops when they needed to, and they are going to be victorious here in about 56 seconds. What a performance from Mike Yo's squad. Rowdy Hoover's defense. The special teams, well, I shouldn't say much about the special teams for either team. It wasn't great. Saw some weird kickoffs. Barahona, the quarterback, will kneel down, and probably one more, and this game's going to be over. So Strasburg and Central are going to meet again. They're going to meet next week on Friday night. And one more kneel down, and there it is. That should be it. And that's it from Luray. Central kneels down, and they have won tonight's ball game. They have won in this matchup against Luray in the Region 2B semifinals, and they will have a chance to win the Region Championship next week as they will head to Strasburg to take on their Shenandoah County rival, the Strasburg Rams, next week at 7 o'clock. Final score tonight from Luray, Virginia. Central 22, Luray 12. The clock hits 0, and this game is in the books. We're going to take a quick break, come back, and recap this thing after this. It's the game of the week, and it's on Valley Sports Radio. And welcome back to Luray. The Central Falcons with a pretty impressive win tonight over the Luray Bulldogs, 22-12, punching their ticket and earning the right to head to Strasburg for the first time this year. They will play at Strasburg next Friday night for the Region 2B Championship. The Rams and the Falcons, the 1 and the 3 seeds, will battle it out to determine who will win the Region Championship. What a game this was, though, here. I mean, Central took advantage early with a turnover by Luray. They scored the touchdown, made it 7-0. Then the Bulldogs came back, and they really started to get their high-powered offense moving. And when I say high-powered offense, I mean their run game. It is really good. Their passing game, non-existent. Scored the touchdown. Well, they didn't kick the extra point. They went for 2, and they didn't get it. It made it 7-6. Later in the half, in the second quarter, Luray went down after a turnover on a fumble by Central. Scored a touchdown to make it 12-7. Again, they went for 2. Again, they didn't get it. Went to the half. Central got the ball to start the third quarter. They went 3 and out, had to punt it away. But a huge stop on 4th down in the third quarter proved to be absolutely huge. As they got the ball back, they went down the field, and on 4th down and 5, Central ran the football in Luray territory. They didn't get it, but a face mask penalty saved the day. It moved the chains, gave them a fresh set of downs on 4th and 5. Next play, it was in the fourth quarter. Tyler Forbes got the football after they switched sides. He ran the ball in from 14 yards out, and that made it 15-12 Central. So they were up by 3, and after the kickoff, Luray had to start on their own 2-yard line. Terrible field position, and as I mentioned tonight, special teams was not good for either team, and Luray had to run the football. They got in the 4th down position with about 8 minutes to go, and they threw it for the first time all night long, and Lipscomb threw it incomplete, turned it over on downs at about the 13-yard line, gave it back to Central. Central then gave it to Tyler Forbes. He ran it in from 12 yards out, his second of the night. That made it 22-12 after the extra point from Matrosi, and that is where we finished off the last drive. Luray just kept going forward and backwards and forwards and backwards. Story of the night, though, penalties. I think, Luray, you look back on it, they made a ton of mistakes. They fumbled the ball twice. Ton of untimely penalties that wiped out some really strong drives, but I mean, I can't go without saying Central had a heck of a night defensively. They made some great stops. 4th down, we know how Luray can make plays on the run game. Central contained them for the most part. Jenkins had a heck of a night. He ran for about, around 140 yards. He had a touchdown in the first half, and Fry ended up running for about 60, Bryant for about 40. So huge numbers from Luray, but not as big as they usually are, and that's the difference here tonight. That's why Central was able to win this game. The quarterback, Lipscomb, I had him -7 rushing yards. He finally completed a pass late in the fourth. He finished 1 for 3, not many yards there for him. Nansel was the one that made that catch towards the sideline that kind of extended the ball game for that time being. But overall, Central with their 10th win of the year. Barahona, the quarterback, was solid. Had him 5 for 9. Had him at about 45 yards in the air. Had about 5 or 6 rushing yards. Tyler Forbes, though, he stepped up when he needed to, make the big plays. A lot of injuries tonight for Central. Couldn't tell if all those guys came back or not, but hopefully they'll be okay after this chilly night in Luray. But Falcons are victorious tonight. They win it. They win a back-and-forth game. We knew this was going to be a tough game, and it was exactly that. It was a heck of a ball game from both teams, but at the end, Central on the road as underdogs prevail as the 3 seed, and they will be at Strasburg next week to take on the Strasburg Rams. I want to thank our technician tonight. That was Alan Earhart, our producer back at Network Control. Did a great job keeping our broadcast straight. We want to thank all of our sponsors. We had a ton of sponsors tonight once again. We want to thank all of our local supporters for supporting our high school sports with Central and Strasburg, as both teams will play again play again next Friday night, and we will have coverage of that right here on Valley Sports Radio. Again, we want to thank you for joining us tonight. Central victorious on the road at Luray by a final score of 22-12. I'm Kyle Gutschall. So long.